Welcome to Beantown Fantasy Football. It's week 9. This is the running back edition. With me are Ace Wonder, Mark Fury, BG. I'm the Jaker. Let's get down to business. BG, running back. Who should be in the fans lineup in week 9?
I'm going with my boy Reggie at home versus Carolina. He's scored the last couple games. He looks like he's the red zone running back. So, I mean, why not pick Reggie? He's one of the most explosive players in the NFL. I think Sean Payton's going to look to get the ball in his hands against a bad tackling Carolina defense. As good as they are in pass defense, they're a bad tackling defense. You can't beat that against Reggie Bush. Just roll with the streak with Reggie. My next running back, I'm going to have to go with Mr. Ryan Grant against the Bucks. The Bucks are terrible. Green Bay's getting hot. I mean, they're probably going to be playing some pass defense, trying to stop Aaron Rodgers. So you know Ryan Grant's going to get in the end zone at least once or twice. Probably get 100 yards or so. So, Bush and Grant, presidents.
You heard it here. Who are you sitting?
Gotta sit Cedric Benson against Baltimore. I think he's gonna look like Cedric Benson. I mean, you knew it wasn't gonna last. But, I mean, against Baltimore, they've seen him once. They struggled a little bit. They ain't gonna let that happen again. Baltimore's defense looked good last week. They look like they're back on the right track. So, I would say Cedric Benson this week.
So this is the week that Benson goes down.
This is the week Benson goes down.
What do you think?
I like Benson this week. I don't think he's an absolute must-start, but at the same time, he's done enough this year to prove to be an every week fantasy starter.
All right, we're hating on Benson. Ace Wonder.
Yes, sir.
Going into week 9, running back. Who do you like?
Hey, I like someone that's been breaking the hearts of fantasy owners for this whole season so far, and if this isn't the week where he steps up, I don't know which week Brandon Jacobs is going to step up. He's going against a San Diego Chargers defense that has let up over 130 yards rushing a game. That's 6th worst in the league. Even the Lions are better. I mean, I don't know. I say start Jacobs without hesitation this week. You know, he's due for a big game. And I mean, Bradshaw's been, looks like he's been shut down for the last couple of games. I think Jacobs is going to be back to the goal line back, and I think that would be a great play this week.
Yeah, Bradshaw has been shaky. I own him in a couple of leagues. I don't know if that injury is hurting him more than it is. I mean, he was good for a score last week, but not much yardage. It's still not going to get you many points without the yards. I think you're right. This could be Brandon Jacobs' week.
Yeah, I mean, my next play, I mean, he might be going against the Giants defense this week, but I think LT's back. I mean, I seen 2 touchdowns last week against the Raiders. I mean, it is the Raiders, but even the best shooters need a free throw to get started, so I think that was Tomlinson's free throw. And he's going against the Giants defense that I think they're more focused on stopping the pass than they are stopping the run. So.
All right, those were a couple of good starts, but who is not going to be in your lineup? Who should be on the fans' bench in week 9?
I mean, he's had a great year so far, but I think you said Ronnie Brown this week against the Pats. I mean, the Wildcat has had a lot of success this year. Last week they put up 30 on the Jets. Ronnie Brown had some success there. And of course he had that monster game against the Pats last year where no one ever seen the Wildcat before. But the next time they played, he was held to 10 carries for 37 yards. I think you can expect more of the same this week from Ronnie Brown. And I don't think he's going to join Michael Turner as being the only one with a rushing touchdown against the Pats.
I had Ronnie Brown on the bench when he lit up the Patriots, so it can't be any worse if I bench him now.
Okay.
What the hell, go for it.
I'm actually going to be starting him going into week 9. I think he is who he is. I think he's a very talented player, and I think Miami will find ways to get him the ball. And as long as you have Ricky Williams also on the other side, they're splitting carries. I don't care how many times you watch this Wildcat offense or who you are, they have ways of surprising people. Even Belichick, I don't think they're going to run all over him, but I think he'll have enough looks to make him a decent starter. All right, Ace, great picks. Mark Fury, week 9, who do you like?
I like Pierre Thomas going against the Carolina Panthers. Last week, Pierre got into the end zone twice against the Atlanta Falcons and showed everyone exactly who the best running back in New Orleans is. I look to follow that up this week against the division rival Carolina Panthers, who are giving up an average of 4.5 yards per carry, and while Pierre Thomas is putting up 5.8 on the season. Put him in your lineup.
I like Pierre Thomas. He was my keeper for last year. I've always used him as great potential. Bell's been in there a little bit. People have been whining about it, but I agree. Pierre Thomas should have an excellent game going into Monday night. I'm confident Who else are you starting?
I'm starting Joseph Adai against the Houston Texans. With Donald Brown dinged up, Adai's been the go-to guy. He scored a touchdown in 4 straight weeks, including a pass last week. He had more touchdown passes than Peyton Manning. How about that?
Hey.
I'm looking for 5 straight against Houston, who's given up 11 rushing touchdowns so far this season. Get Adai in your lineup. You don't have to worry about him because I'm very confident that he's going to get into the end zone. He'll put up 60 to 70 yards. He's got a low yards per carry. He hasn't been playing that well, but he'll be a much better fantasy player than a real football player, especially this week.
That's all that counts.
Who are you sitting?
I'm sitting Steve Slayton, and everybody else should be sitting him too. He's going up against Indy. Their run D it's only average, but as Jim Morris said, I don't care who you play.
Crazy fool.
If you put the ball on the turf like this guy does, you shouldn't be in anyone's fantasy lineup or anyone's real football lineup.
Yeah.
He's fumbled 7 times this year. He's lost 5 of them. And if he puts it on the turf one more time, he's going to be sitting while he watches Ryan Moats go crazy.
All right, going into week 9, my picks for running back are aimed at those of you out there in deeper leagues looking for a flex play. You're sweeping the free agent list. You're looking at the waiver wire. You need somebody. And I'm not saying start these people over the likes of Pierre Thomas or any of the other people we've talked about. But again, deeper leagues, 12 teams plus, you need a flex play. I like Maurice Morris of the Detroit Lions going against his former teammates in Seattle. If you can deal with maybe 50, 60 yards and a score, just enough to pick up some points, Momo should be in your lineup this weekend. Kevin Smith is a bit banged up. You can still find this guy in a lot of leagues. Seattle's been tough at home, no doubt. They're only giving up about 3.5 yards per carry and 6 rushing touchdowns to opposing backs. But they are also, I think, they're going to be blitzing this young quarterback from Detroit quite a bit. I think he's going to hand off a lot more than he's going to be able to throw. And if Morris starts by default, he's going to get the carries, and I think therefore the points.
You got to check on Sunday morning, make sure that Smith isn't playing if you're going to deploy Morris.
Yeah.
If Smith's playing, Morris doesn't really have that much value.
Again, check the lineup on Sunday, see if he's in. Even if so, I mean, he could end up splitting carries. Things could go either way. But I think, again, if he is the starter, he'll be a great play. My second pick for the weekend is Jamal Charles of the Kansas City Chiefs, starting in place of that literary genius, Larry Johnson. He's going to be splitting carries with Colby Smith, and this is sort of a double sleeper here because I think both Smith and Jamal Charles, again, if you're looking for somebody, they could be splitting carries. It could go either way. But they're going against Jacksonville. Now, they allowed Chris Johnson 228 yards, 2 scores last week. I think it's safe to say you can definitely run against Jacksonville. So that sets up good things, I think, for Colby Smith as well as Jamal Charles. I think either one of those would be good flex plays. Okay, well, somebody who's not going to be in my lineup this week, and that is going to be Rashard Mendenhall of the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Denver Broncos on Monday night. Denver has allowed the second fewest yards per carry and only 3 rushing touchdowns all year to opposing running backs. And to me, that just doesn't spell good things for Pittsburgh's running game, which is good, but not great, even on a good day. I still see bigger things out of the wide receiving core. Denver is a little bit easier against the pass. I think they'll be putting the ball up in the air, a lot more of Holmes, a lot more of Wallace, less so of Rashard Mendenhall. So as I said, bigger night for Pittsburgh's passing game. I think it's pretty safe. Sit Rashard Mendenhall going into week 9. That's going to do it for week 9. This has been the running back edition. For BG, Ace Wonder, Mark Fury, I'm the Jaker. We'll see you here next episode. Keep watching. It only gets better.